Hi everybody, I thought I'd give you a nice spring tour of our property so you can see how it's shaping up. We start over here in the front yard. This is our pile of bark that we've been using to spread around the backyard. We still got a little bit of it left. We got quite a bit of landscaping done in this section. There's our front drive. And you'll notice some odd mowing patterns in the front yard. This was my doing. Did it for a couple of reasons. One is I mowed around all the areas of interest, like the tall grasses with the seeds, or areas that were heavily, densely growing clover. Just because I like the way it looks. We have, you can see in the background there, all the bee nests. The tractor just went in front of them. They probably have about 30 to 50 bee nests back there, so we get a lot of honeybees. And I thought leaving these flowers and clovers and whatnot in the front yard would help them out a bit. So anyway, that's the front yard. And here's our front porch area. Makes it look kind of like a little bit of a camping spot with our fire pit, the 2 benches that we made. And then the RV is parked here just temporarily, but every time I look out front it reminds me of camping, so I think I'm going to leave it here for a while. Alright, now we'll take a walk down to the backyard. I started leaving the mower parked here because what I do is every day, if it's not raining, I get up and I mow 1 bag full of grass and I feed it to the cow. So our grass perpetually has stripes in it, which is kind of funny, but cow loves it. Over there you got the chickens run. Looks like they're inside. It's got a little bit hot for them. There's our kind of dilapidated barn. We just ignore it for now. This is our compost piles. So far it's working out really good. We had that entire bin full of compost and I've used it all. The middle one now is completely full, but it's actively composting, and we're starting a brand new pile right there. Over here is where we have our burn piles. This is for branches and stuff like that. And you can see back here I got some piles of bark I moved around. It's that time of year again where we have to spread the bark out. Over here we have the wildflower patch. This was grass. We sprayed it with the Roundup, then used the weed dragon to burn off all the dead grass, put down about 1 inch or 2 of mulch, and then spread, I think it was 1 pound of wildflower seeds. This is a view from the backyard with a little center decorative area. That brown shed is our pump house. That little green box there is a sandbox. This is the north side of the house. This is where we built the pond. And this is our pond. It's looking very nice. The water, as you can see, is crystal clear. It's about 3 feet deep. And all the landscaping is really doing well. This is our little fern forest back here. And then back here is all of our hostas. I'm hoping they do good enough that we can eat them, but right now we're just letting them grow and get strong. And that's a goat butt. That's a little Lily. And that's a little Leo. And that's a Luke. They just have to be the center of attention. This is our current project. It's the formal pond area. We put an arch over the pond. On the corner of each arch we have some honeysuckle. And it's adjacent to the wildflower patch. So I'm hoping by this fall it'll be beautiful. We have it fenced off to keep the dogs out of the wildflowers for now. Once they get stronger, I think it'll be okay to take the fence away, and the dogs shouldn't do too much damage. And there's another pile of bark we've got to spread. Okay, and now we're in the garden, and yes, this is the third pond. I think Mitzi just landscaped this a couple days ago. I think almost every bush you see in here is something we started ourselves from seed. And back there is our new cow, Gouda, and just in front of him you see our nettle plants, which is the aphid trap. You have a bunch of bulbs, some more stuff that's got to get planted, and another little garden plant area. Over here you see our strawberry patches. I think this patch closest to us is like a traditional June bearing strawberry. This one is, I don't remember the name of them, but they're the white strawberries. It's supposed to taste like a hint of pineapple. And then back there we got our 2 asparagus patches. And here we have our artichokes. We're starting to get a few artichokes on, and I think this fall we're going to have to separate them because we have quite a few secondary plants that need to get separated out. But the artichokes are doing really good, and a pleasant surprise is all the seeds they dropped last year are growing very nicely. Those little tiny fronds you see, those are actually volunteers from the seeds that got dropped. This is my little tomato army. The stuff that we think had early blight. I've been spraying it with copper and spraying it with neem oil and taking off every single leaf that shows any signs of damage. And so far we are on day number 2 with no new signs of damage, and the growth is actually quite vigorous, so I think we might have beat it. Okay, this is a tour of the greenhouse. It's kind of a mess right now. I grew some snap peas in here to try to get some early peas, and it was successful. So we get to pick a couple peas. I got some fennel and some cilantro. I got a tomato, that'll stay. Got some basil, another tomato. There's the morning glory. Then here's our summer batch of peppers. All of the, what do you call them, the fly traps, they are doing fantastic. I'm going to try to grow some watermelon in here this year. We'll see how that turns out. You'll see a hole. We got a gopher problem. I'm trying to catch him. These are beets. We'll hopefully eat them all, but pull them all up. They're already starting to bolt. The carrots are just now getting to be about 5 to 6 inches, so we'll be eating those up soon. Over here we got some pansies, and then planted down there is some more of the summer peppers. This is watermelon. They're going to live in the greenhouse until it gets warmer outside. Here's all the rest of our perennial flowers that we're going to be planting around. And you go over here, you got some more morning glory, peppers, watermelon, squash, more flowers, another morning glory, more gopher holes right in between all of the peppers. We got some yellow zucchini squash, some more squashes. This is the tour of the garden itself. We got some garlic, onions, peas in the background. I think this is some sort of cabbage, broccoli and kale. This is our kale forest. We're gonna let this thing just go wild this year and let it see if it self-seeds and see how that works out. The pak choi has gone to seed. The bees love it, so we're gonna leave it for a while. I got some lettuce back there, and that tall flower is a valerian. These arches are a new addition to the garden this year. Josh and I just put them up a couple months ago. In here we're gonna grow, I think those are lemon cucumbers. Over there's Marketmore cucumbers. We got basil. I forget what that is. We got some tomatoes. We'll try growing up on the arch over there and there. Sorry for making you dizzy. Some morning glories. I forget what those are. So we got some peas and some beans back there underneath the paper is That's carrots. Over here we have some more peas and some beans, and under that paper cilantro. And there's a little batch of watermelon relish that's coming up. And we got some more flowers there, and some more little flowers there. I think this is our gooseberry. We got some more onions. These are the onions from last year we didn't eat, so this is their second season. We're expecting all of these to flower. Back there's some of that horseradish that I think Dad gave me. Over there we got a fresh batches of corn intermixed with beans. Back there's the valerian root, and you got Danielle and Mitzi, they're hanging out with the geese. Here is our first planting of corn. It got off to a rough start. There's a lot of slugs eating it, but it's actually looking quite good now. And here's the potatoes that we have planted. They're nice little rows. Over here we have some lilies. This is some more leftover onions that should go to bulb. All that green speckles you see out there, those are potatoes that I guess escaped harvest last year, so they're all volunteers. Here we got some more flowers that'll be coming in. This tripod is for beans. This tripod we're saving for the hops that Jason's going to bring us. In the background's the raspberry bushes. These are thornless blackberries, and these are our grapes. This is just a different view of the grapes. It's kind of in the middle of summer, it's kind of fun to walk through the archway here, pick a couple grapes, come over here, pick a couple blackberries. We're going to train these blackberries to run along this fencing here on each side, and they'll get plenty long enough. And then this is our little raspberry patch. When you come in this way, lower right is another lavender. We've got a couple fennels. I think that thing in the middle of the screen now is a weed, but it's pretty, so we're leaving it. These onions we will harvest this season. Okay, back here is our couple rows of broccoli, our celery that we overwintered, some carrots, volunteer sunflower. We got cabbage, red cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, intermixed with a bunch more of the volunteer sunflowers. This is our overwintered kale. It's our kale trees. In this bed we got some strawberries, some of the celery that overwintered, some more bok choy that was planted this season. In the back you'll see a pot that's got onion chives, a bunch of flowers. These flowers are Sweet Williams, a couple more sunflowers. This is just some leftover kale, overwintered celery, strawberries, and some more valerian. And I'm going to put one of my Roma tomatoes in that tower right there. In this bed we have some creeping thyme I planted from seed, a couple of sunflowers, our Black Beauty squash plants, 4 of them that were hit with the frost. I'll zoom in so you can see how they're recovering. So I did not think they were going to make it. I cut off every single leaf and crossed my fingers, and they're looking pretty good. And there's the other one. Now, since I didn't expect them to survive, I went and planted more. So now we're gonna have, too much zucchini again this year. But I don't think it goes to waste because the animals love them. And then over here we have poppies from seed, some more valerian root. In here we have rosemary, and I don't know what the plant is. It might be a weed, but again, it's kind of pretty, so we just left it. And in this bed, more valerian. There's a sunflower, bok choy that's gone to seed, the celery that overwintered, some more lettuces, and some more lettuces. And if you come around this side, this is, I think they call it red lipstick chard. It's supposed to be hardy in zones 2 through 9. So, I don't think I was looking at zones 2 through 9. So this should actually overwinter. There we got snapdragons, another volunteer weed of some sort that looks pretty. This is one of Mitzi's flowers she transplanted. I can't remember the name of it. And I just planted some purple broccoli. You can barely make them out amongst all the compost. But these are also supposed to be very good at overwintering. So we'll see how they turn out. And I think that's it. This is one more shot, an overview from a different angle. This is kind of our sanctuary. I find just wandering around in here and doing silly things is my form of therapy. Of course, you can't have a video of the farm without taking a shot of the new babies. So there's the geese, and yes, they are getting huge. This is the end of the video. I gave them the entire tour. And there's Daniel. Yes. Are you going to help me move that bark pile? Somebody's got to move it.
I'm going to steal parts of it. I'll sit on it while you move it.
It does look very comfortable.
It's not.
All right. Say bye, everybody.
Everybody, a tour of my pond.
I did.